got to get it started because it is what? Sunday, March the 13th, 2022, and it is the Zodiac Chat Line. I am your host, Tennah, here with my girl, Cassie. It is the 313. What's up? What up, though? Detroit Day.
That's right.
Shout out real quick.
Tayshaun
Prince. You know, here we go. Pisces King, just saying. All right, but had to get that out the way. Oh, happy birthday. What's our Sean's sister's birthday's today? What's up?
Jess.
Happy birthday, Jess. Happy
Jess's
birthday, Jess.
Happy birthday, Bobby Vernier, who may be joining the chat tonight. I shouldn't have said his government name. May not be. He's on a cruise for his birthday because he's a Pisces. He's going to be on a boat in the water for his birthday.
Heck, yeah. All right. So today we're going to talk about, the little things happening in the stars. Not much, actually.
No.
More happening in the world than in the stars. But we do have Venus and Mars and Saturn still hanging out in Aquarius. Great energy for everything. Revolution and love and, taking action. Just get weird still.
Yeah.
And then we have the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune living their best lives all the way in the Pisces energy. So let's keep it cute, keep it together. We all know that time
keep it together in Pisces season. Okay.
We all know that time is a construct, and so hopefully your technology advanced you forward without you having to do anything. I did change the clock on my oven, but that's about it. But we lost an hour, whatever. I don't know how this works.
Unless you're in one of the 3 states that doesn't do daylight saving time. Guys, let's just let this year be the last year. Let's just spring forward and never go back.
Because why?
So
speaking of spring, we are exactly 1 week away from the spring equinox. And so I don't know about y'all, but we had a fall spring here in Atlanta and then a real winter. So thanks. And also we will be talking this on Thursday's live, but we do have full moon in Virgo coming up on Friday.
It's a big, kind of an important one because it's the last full moon of the astrological year because the spring equinox starts off the new astrological year. So we'll talk more about it on Thursday, but it'll be a good chance to go ahead and get rid of anything that's not working, that hasn't been working in the last year. Bye.
That is, if it's not about reorganizing clutter, this is a perfect spring cleaning. That's exactly what the Virgo full moon is definitely for. It's a good pre-spring cleaning, whether it be your physical space, your mental, emotional space, spiritual space, all of that, reworking your whole altars, whatever y'all do out there, getting more sage and cleansing.
That's right.
I'm here for it. We love moons here on the Zodiac Chat Line. Cassie is all Cancer energy, and I happen to be rising in the Cancer. But either way, you can see the moons behind me. So we love us some moons. But sometimes, you know what? It's just a phase. Anyway, I think, what else? What else do you want to talk about before we get on? Is there anything else?
No.
We're still waiting for Riri to have her baby.
And she's still looking I saw her. So Fenty launched in Ulta stores.
Girl.
She was at the launch, pregnant AF, in a strappy shirt that did not have a bra. You could tell she was like, bitch, I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be cute as fuck. I'm also going to be comfortable. I'm not wearing a bra on these titties. I am wearing a long skirt because I do not want to have to wear Spanx or hose or whatever. Not that she would anyway, but whatever. She
just hit her little mermaid tail underneath that big old skirt.
Everything. Just be a glittery, glowy belly, just
all of that
entity, goddess.
Listen, her baby got more photos pre-birth than anybody. No. She out here. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest because we're done. Let's do it. Let's get her on here.
Yes. Okay. Our guest tonight is my mom, Mama Michelle. She is a Pisces sun, an Aquarius moon, and a Sagittarius rising with whole load of other Pisces energies. And she's amazing. And she's been a mom to like 45 to 70% of the chat right now, depending on who all is still in here.
Much.
So we are super excited to talk to her if she's joining.
I invited her. Just
Yay,
waiting for her. There it is. Okay.
I totally blew it.
It's okay.
No, you're doing
you
great.
made it.
You're here.
I did
We
make it, but
face.
I had my iPad set up, and anyway, I'm here. I missed the introduction. I'm sure it was wonderful. I'll watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Yes, plug our YouTube. That's why we love Mama. We love Mama Michelle.
Is subscribed.
Yes.
You know I'm watching every Monday on YouTube because this will be the second night this weekend. My daughter's kept me up past my bedtime.
I know, it's true.
Okay.
She stayed up so that I could go see a movie with my husband because my mother is the best mom ever.
Look, Mom is getting all the love in the chat.
Yes.
I know, I see that. I love you, Sean.
Sean's like, she's my second mom before all y'all. He wanted to make sure that everybody in the chat knew.
It is true. It is true.
It's true.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for being our #1 mom fan. You're literally the best.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I had a really nice birthday. Yeah.
All right. Good. We appreciate you bringing your Pisces energy today. So tell us about astrology, how you got into it, what you know about yourself.
I know that I am as Pisces can be. So that's real. All about the water, all about the beach, all about the feelings. So many feelings. So unfortunately not just my feelings either. That's my biggest struggle in life has probably been feeling too much of other people's feelings too. So but I'm better now that I'm older, I think. Yeah, I'm Pisces. What else did you want to know about me?
I mean, whatever you want to tell us. We just want to talk to you. Whatever you want to
Astrology, I think, I'm sure that came from my mom, who was just crazy, wild, wonderful.
Aries.
Aries, but not at all. But she was a Methodist Sunday school teacher, secretary, a member of an Edgar Casey study group. I don't know how she even found 4 other women in our county who knew who Edgar Casey even was. People are Googling that now, I'm sure. She used to take me when I was a kid to visit. We lived between like Flint and Lansing in a very, very, very teeny town. So she would take me to visit like the Church of Psychic Science. And
That's pretty cool.
Was just very curious, very, very smart, very well read. She was, I can remember being probably 9 or 10 and being in this church. They had everybody write their initials on a piece of paper, and then they were pulling initials out. And I was so nervous because they told this man to get his affairs in order. And I didn't exactly know what it meant, but I knew by the gasps that it was bad. Like they're predicting something bad is going to happen to him. So sure enough, they call my initials. And I remember like I had to stand up. I was just standing there shaking. And the only thing I could remember was this man saying, "I see your life like an ear of corn with every kernel representing a year." And I was like, phew.
That means you're going to live a long life.
But I think about that now and think, what was my mother doing? Crazy.
Being an Aries.
Crazy thing to do to a kid.
Being an Aries, for sure.
Just fuck it, let's try it.
Right. Wow. Well, I mean, that's kind of cool that you were exposed to that just based on, I guess, time. Because, like, I think now, New Age astrology, I mean, we see lots of astrology pages and the fact that you said the science, the weird science, I was like, oh, well, there was always some different aspect to kind of learning about different spirituality.
Sure.
Okay.
So
Go
I was
ahead.
interested. I think the older I've gotten, the more interested I've gotten watching Cassie, really do a deep dive and get into it. Meeting you and, getting, I have this beautiful book that you made me a few years ago. And
That's right. Plug it.
It's fun. Plug it.
I know, right? Love it. No, it was pretty awesome that meeting. And Cassie and I have talked about this forever, meeting her and just kind of talking about astrology. And she was like, oh yeah, my mom's into it. And it's different to find people that are into it because everybody thinks it's kind of weird and kooky and different. And if it works for you, it works for you. So
Right. Nothing wrong with being weird and kooky.
I see you got a good question for your mom, Cassie. What is it?
Oh, I mean, it's funny. The first question I have written down was, what was your first experience with mysticism or spirituality? And so we've kind of already talked about that. And I remembered, of course, I remember learning about Edgar Cayce from Grammy also as a child, because the books were just around. And it's like, what's this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was curious if you had like a specific memory of something like there's a lot to suggest in your chart that you are adept at working with the spiritual realm, that's indeed part of your life path, that you're probably psychic. So do you have any any first memories of like clairvoyance or, being kind of saved by your gut instinct or anything like that? Like, what does that, because I'll tell the audience that when I was growing up, what I learned from my mom and her mom was that if you feel something in your gut, you should listen to that, because that feeling is real and that means something. And it wasn't until I was much older that I realized it's not like everybody gets that gem piece of advice,
Right.
So I was curious if there was something in particular that you can hearken back to that you remember.
I had an experience, and I think I probably was a teenager, meeting someone who was some kind of minister or somebody in not the church I went to, but I don't remember so much meeting him, but I remember talking to my mom about, and my mom described it as spirit meeting. Sometimes she would describe that as spirit meeting spirit. Like if somebody gives you, like, I got the worst vibe or whatever, however you want to describe it. And, when you were brought up in a church like I was, you are taught to, respect the people, within the ministry and blah, blah, blah. But I remember going to my mom and telling her like that I had this feeling and this experience. And she was like, that's not somebody that you're ever going to have to be around, but you should respect that feeling. You had that feeling for a reason. And so that was good because she was real easy to talk to about things like that.
That's super empowering. Like,
there were other things that you just ignored that were going on, but that kind of stuff she was easy to talk to. I always got told when I was older that when I was little, they always talked about me talking to myself. Like I was always in my room if I'm talking to myself. And, my mom was, I always got one of those people that got called an old soul, when I was little. And so I think
Interesting.
maybe I was,
you weren't
in
just
touch
talking to
with
yourself.
That.
I was going to say
Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was.
Your other friends,
Who knows? Yeah.
in other realms,
Right.
Yeah.
We all learn our own spirituality. So it's interesting that you have a lot of third house energy, which is very similar to Cassie.
Okay.
And we discussed a lot of kind of correlations between the two of your charts. And I was wondering, how do you handle misunderstandings with relatives and family?
Not very well. Not very well. I don't even know how to describe that. I guess it depends. I would say it depends. I've been fortunate, I would say, to have not had huge drama in my immediate family. I have a good relationship with all my kids. I love my son-in-law, my daughter-in-law. That's all great. I didn't have, had an estrangement from my real dad that just went on for the last, 20 years, 25 or 30 years of my life. Just didn't have anything to do with him. That to me was the best way to handle that situation. Sometimes I think you just need to cut people out of your life. My feelings are hurt and I am not forgiving. I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not. I just can hold a grudge for a long, long time.
Sounds like that Aquarius moon up in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also
Detach.
The North Node in the 8th house is just like, I'm going to remember this for generations.
It's like detach and silent treatment.
Yeah, that's it, basically.
It's an immediate.
I'm done.
It's interesting too because the third house is very much the house of not so much your immediate family, because that's really more represented by the fourth house, but the third house is representative of your siblings, cousins, like your somewhat extended family, and then also communication and short trips and moving about close to your home. And I was thinking about your Aquarius moon and your Sagittarius rising. So like you're a Pisces and you feel like a Pisces through and through. And that makes sense because you're not just a Pisces sun. You also have the Mercury in Pisces and Mars in Pisces. And that means you not only are a Pisces, you speak like one and you act like one, right? So all three of those things make sense.
Yeah.
But with your Aquarius moon and your Sagittarius rising, you're also very quirky, and you are with the Aquarius moon very in touch with, you're very you're progressive, and you are concerned with humanity and what's good for humanity and good for the world. And sometimes those viewpoints can put us at odds with the way we were raised or the way, other people in our family might be or whatever. And I was thinking about that. And frankly, having Mars in Pisces, to me, it makes sense when you say it's hard to deal with conflict within your family, because Mars is the planet that deals with conflict, and Pisces is not a sign that really deals with conflict. No. Well, they either withdraw a Pisces will ghost you real quick if they need to. Bye. And they're not given to direct head-to-head confrontation because it hurts them. Pisces people will feel both sides of that confrontation. Why would you want to do that? You know what I mean? And so, like you said, sometimes the best course of action in that case is just removing yourself from it. You know, if it's too much to deal with, then.
And I want to validate you separating from a biological parent, because a lot of people give the excuse, oh, that's your parent, and you should just kind of allow that person around. But sometimes your parents aren't healthy for you, and it's okay to set that boundary. And from what I've understand and what I've gathered, you've definitely raised your children in a different way than you were raised, because you just kind of took that and said, okay, well, this is how I want to be a parent. So did you always want to be a mom?
I did. I sure did.
And what was that like? You just woke up and you're like, I want to be a mom.
No, I didn't. I have a cousin, Patty. If she'll watch this, I'll send her the YouTube link tomorrow.
Shout out to Patty. Please subscribe, girl.
Patty, yes. She was my mom's favorite niece, and she was just around all the time when my brother and I were growing up. And then when I got older and she got married, I would, go spend all my vacations and stuff with her. And she just, I just wanted to be like her. She just had this lovely, she has 4 daughters, you know, and I think 13 grandkids now. And, you know, I just, her family and her husband is just, you know, just one of my favorite people too. And yeah, I did. I wanted that. So
it's really interesting because you have, so your North Node is, you know, also an important influence in your chart. It's what they call your like karmic path. It's kind of where your destiny is headed. And so your North Node is where you need to go. And your South Node is kind of the energy that in theory you bring from past lives or your early childhood, or sometimes it's just symbolic of like what is more comfortable for you that you have to break out of to get to your North Node. And your North Node is in Cancer, which is of course the sign of motherhood. And it's very much your destiny to embrace that maternal, caring, loving part of yourself. And one thing that I thought was really interesting when I was reading about because it's a one of the more
challenging,
deep and intense and challenging node positions, just not so much because of the Cancer part of it, but really because of the Capricorn South Node, because the moon rules Cancer. So the lunar path being there, that's kind of a comfortable energy to be moving toward, but it's an uncomfortable energy to be moving out of or to have had to deal with. And one thing that I read about that South Node position that resonated, because of course I know a lot about you, is often like a lot of time spent alone as a child, and also having to shoulder too much responsibility at a young age. And can you speak to that and how that affected what you decided to do as a mother?
yeah, well, my mom's mother lived with us when I was a kid from before I started school, so maybe from the time before I was 4 or 5. She came from California. She was a retired school teacher, and she came for a year when my brother was born, and then came for a year when I was born, because my mother was like a baby, taking care of a baby. She was just did not deal with early motherhood well at all. Every picture of her holding a baby looks like she's like, someone take it.
Oh no.
So, then, so my grandmother came, I think really like as soon as I was old enough to assume helping my grandmother with her daily needs, that became my responsibility. So, and she died when I was 15. So that was, you know, a good, probably, you know, 5, 6 years of my life that involved, and she would have been from 75 to 80 is how old she was. So, I mean, she was elderly. Yeah. She was crippled by arthritis. She needed, you know, she needed a significant amount of help. So, and my mother could not stand to be around sick people, even those in her immediate family. She just couldn't. It just she couldn't handle it. She was wonderul in so many ways, but she could not cope with that at all.
You're a blessing to your grandmother.
But I resented that at times for sure.
As you should, rightfully so.
Right. Yeah, you didn't get a chance to really be a kid.
Well, I mean, I did. I don't want to put it that way. It's not like I was, you know, her full-time nurse. I mean, I'm just saying, it was probably more than the average, you know,
10-year-old,
10 or 12-year-old was doing at home, but not as much as some, you know. And also had a mom who, you know, spent every Saturday with me. So my friends wanted to spend the night on Friday night because my mom wasn't going to make us clean house on Saturday. She was going to take us to the mall and take us out to lunch and take us to the movie.
Fun.
And so, you know, I mean,
it balanced.
She had some of that balanced out. Yeah, for sure.
So with your North Node in Cancer, we talked about mom, and we also talked about being in the 8th house. How transformative was the birth of your first child for you?
Oh,
being Cassie.
huge, huge in every, literally and yes, every way.
Yeah, it was a big baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was some difficult. My parents went through their divorce while I was pregnant for Cassie, so that was a difficult time. But yeah, we were kids. I had just turned 20 when she was born, and Jim was 20. Her dad was 22. So we had no clue what we were doing, but we were thrilled to have her, and had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, we're just everything she did was amazing, and yeah, it was a lot of it was fun. We were delighted. We were delighted with each of our children. I mean, really, just had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So we're going to switch gears to talk about your Saturn return, because I hear that's really what you want to know.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about that.
Cassie's going to tell you what happened at your first Saturn return and when this one began.
Yeah, so I had talked to my mom about this, knowing that she just turned 58 and that typically Saturn return happens around age 29. So I was like, oh, you've got to be going into your second Saturn return. And when I actually looked it up, because of you were born like right at the end of Saturn being in Aquarius. And so actually your Saturn return, so your first Saturn return was from December of 1991 to January of 1994. And so thinking about what was going on in your life then, that the buying of the first house you bought was in that period. Yes.
Yep.
And I'm like, of course I was 7 to 10. Like, I don't remember a whole lot of that period myself personally. But so thinking about that time of your life, a lot of times with Saturn returns, you're going to touch on some of the same themes that were going on in that period of your life. But your Saturn return that you're in now actually began March 23rd of 2020, the day that Gretchen Whitmer announced the shelter-in-place order. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And it ends March of next year. So the lessons of these past couple years and this year are, going to be revisiting some of what was going on, back then, and also certainly teaching transformative lessons to you now. And your Saturn placement, your Saturn is in Aquarius, and it is still hanging out in the third house, right? With your Pisces planet. And so it also has something to do with, your extended family and communication and how you, define. And I think for you, knowing that Saturn is in Aquarius in this humanitarian sign, it's really like, how are you defining, how are you embracing the things that you feel like are worth fighting for in humanity? And also, in what ways do you have to cut off or reject things that you dislike? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of lessons for all of us to have learned throughout this pandemic. So I, just encourage you to keep an open mind to all of that. Aquarius in general is an open-minded sign too. And so trying to have faith that, the lessons are going to be for the best and come through. And one thing that came up in a lot of places in your chart, both in all of the Pisces placements, and you have Neptune in the 12th house in Scorpio, which is a really intense, like, spiritual placement as well. And your Cancer North Node is in the 8th house, which is the house of, like, death, rebirth, and transformation. It's a very intense spiritual placement. 2 is something called shadow work. Are you familiar with that as a term?
No, I don't think so.
So in like witchcraft, I guess, or like witchy terminology, we call shadow work working with the parts of your personality that are dark and working with the emotions that you find dark.
Okay.
And I was telling Tennah on our pre-call and Coral on our pre-call, Coral's in the chat, y'all. If you got questions, drop them. Anyway, that one thing you had talked about, and I know about you, is how important comedy was. And you said, you know, maybe if things were like different, maybe you would have gotten into comedy. Like, I highly encourage you to, first of all, there's also stuff in your chart that evidences you'll probably live another 40 years. Like, low key, you're going to be an old lady. So you have like plenty of time to still do stuff.
Mother-in-law apartment.
Exactly. But like, if it's not comfortable for you to, say, write murder mysteries or something like that, like telling jokes or making jokes about things that are dark, like that can be really transformative for you and for the people who listen to it, right? Because it gives that, like, it gives us permission to laugh when we want to cry. And it's a medicine that can help everyone. And I would highly encourage you to think about, you know, finding a way to channel that, because you are, you know, very much a being of light, right? And I think naturally a light worker, but the brightest lights cast shadows still. And you have to be able to acknowledge that stuff and not be afraid of it. Because if you can acknowledge it and point to it and even make fun of it,
laugh at it, I like that.
Then it loses its power.
Your second Saturn return, you're at a second transformative part in your life. I think a lot of this part of your life is being the best grandma that you can be. You know,
Absolutely.
I feel like that's been a real joy.
Which is the best grandma ever.
Oh, we already know. She can't help but be like the best grandma, but also like being able to creatively express yourself in any kind of way, artistically, creatively. And I think, Joe, whether it be however you want to, I encourage you to, just like Cassie, seek out some creative expression for you. It's really weird because we've told a lot of Pisces that they need to let their expression out through creative expression and let their feelings out. And because you feel like a Pisces, you talk like a Pisces, you act like a Pisces, I think that the humor that would come from it would be well received, because your delivery is just that type of a persuasive, flowy delivery.
It's funny that you say that, because I was thinking I do watch a lot of stand-up, and I've read just about every comedian who's written a book. I've read their book, all of the SNL people and Jim Gaffigan and everybody.
Chelsea Handler vibes, ma'am.
Chelsea Handler. Oh my God.
I'm gonna need you to channel
but I was thinking,
that Pisces comedian queen like you.
Because I was reading an article about Chelsea Handler and her new boyfriend and her tour that she's doing. And I had looked up to see, where her tour was. And I was like, that's great. I'm happy for her. And that's wonderful. But I would like some comedy for 58-year-old women, because there's a lot of funny stuff that goes on when you get older.
I think you have hit the nail on the head. It's your niche.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So we're gonna swing into this.
The Pisces, the the Pisces Post-Menopause Comedy Tour.
I'm here for it.
Would watch that.
I am here for it.
Sure would.
We would promote you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we're gonna switch gears to hit your game. For your big three. So Cassie's gonna tell you what the descriptions are gonna be.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're doing Blame It on Your Big Three Disney character version. So as we mentioned,
yes.
your big three, Pisces sun, you already know. You know what the definition of a Pisces is.
Yep.
Your Aquarius moon, Aquarians are very humanitarian oriented. They're very intellectual. We didn't really touch on this, but I think for you, it's a very huge blessing to have an Aquarius moon, because it allows you a little bit of a chance to actually have boundaries. Pisces people generally don't, But an Aquarian can. They can compartmentalize things. And so they're very intellectual, humanitarian. And then your Sagittarius rising. Sagittarians are known to be wild. They are usually will say the thing no one else will. They
with no filter.
Yes. They love freedom. They love travel. They are expressive. And they're another mutable sign. So like Pisces, they can be a little bit all over the place, but they're super fun. Your son-in-law, my husband's a Sagittarius.
Having that fixed Aquarius moon, I think, is very helpful.
Yeah,
because it sets you up for, like Cassie said, better boundaries. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to name a Disney character, and you are going to decide whether it is your Pisces sun, your Aquarius moon, or your Sagittarius rising.
And there will be 2 of each.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay, so I'm going to pick... I'm going to start with this one because it's my favorite. Okay. I'm going to start with Bruno Madrigal from Encanto.
I'm going to go with Pisces.
Yay!
All day.
You knew!
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Super psychic.
Over in the corner. Yeah. Everybody else in the family is like, I don't know about that one. What they're saying about me.
There it is. Love it.
Okay, my first one is going to be Moana.
I mean, I'm going to say Aquarius.
Yep. Trying to save her whole island.
Yeah. She got it together.
Aquarians are also very clairvoyant. Like, they can also tell what other people are thinking. They're just less emotionally sucked into it. And so she's got a sixth sense about what's happening.
She's very loyal.
Right.
Okay. I gotta withdraw from this family again. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. So I have Maribel Madrigal.
I'm trying to think. Sagittarius.
Ooh, that would actually be a good one for her. But I also put Aquarius. Because she was trying to save her entire family, and she represented the entire house.
Yes.
Instead of a very specific type of gift. Her gift was her.
Her.
So, yeah.
Aquarius, their biggest gifts themselves.
Just the other side of that Leo ego sign.
I know, that's right.
Okay, so Elsa from Frozen.
Elsa. I'm gonna go with Pisces.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, the emotions are out of this world. Yeah. She's got this energy that and again, just withdrew. Was like,
bye.
Here. Yeah. Alex says, cold never bothered me anyway. That's right.
Okay, so I have Jane Porter from Tarzan.
I don't know that character.
Okay, backup character.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We don't care. That's why we have backup characters. So my backup character is going to be Mulan.
I mean, I have little notes here for Sagittarius. And one of the things I wrote down was assertive. So I'm going to go with Sagittarius.
That is correct. She kind of, and Sagittarians are known sometimes for their tomboyish. She dressed up like a boy to go fight for her father, but also
loyal and smart.
Oh yeah, and said what she needed to say to everybody to get through. So very good. And Cassie?
My last one is Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Pisces.
No, also I put also Sagittarius.
Okay.
Just because she was like, what's going on? I'm going to follow that.
Well, that's true.
I'm going to go everywhere.
I'm going to drink this.
Yeah, there's a Cheshire Cat. There's a Mad Hatter.
But I can see her, I can see Pisces because she is very much in touch with a world that's not real.
Right.
And actually has gone so far as to like fully be enmeshed in this world that we don't know if it's real or not. So she might have all your placements.
Yeah, I would say
Right.
Alice might be the exact placement, because I was going to say, they did say that Alice, when they said that drink me, Alice was kind of on a trip the whole time, and like that kind of seems like a Pisces, like tripping the whole her whole life is like an endless trip. Of like
that was all
illusions.
just a dream. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Mama Michelle, we want to see this stand-up comedy. I am here for it. I'm just
I'm
gonna throw it together.
You get 5 years, you know. Get your
5
classes,
years. All right.
Take your classes, do some bad sets, and then
by the time Sydney goes to school, I should be ready.
Boy.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, boy.
And she will critique
Oh,
you.
I was gonna say she's gonna be your first judge. Even with her looks.
Oh yeah. Do not dance, please. She's like,
I was dancing tonight. She was dancing with Brandon, and he's got great rhythm. He's an excellent dancer. And so I was off in the corner doing my little shuffle, and she goes, no.
Yeah.
No. She's like, nah, Mama, leave it to Daddy.
I'm just dancing by
She
myself.
does the deep head shake.
Just
No.
Good old Virgo. We love her.
We do love her, little Virgo queen.
Did you have any questions before we let you get to writing your jokes?
No, this has been a lot of fun though. I love you both. And thank you for having me.
Yes, we celebrate
excited
you.
for you. Thank you.
Celebrate you.
Thank you for not making me take on too much responsibility as a child.
Oh, no. I just wanted you to be a child.
I know. I remember when I wanted to get my first job, my mom's like, why? You have your whole life to work. I was like, damn.
Aren't you glad she said why? Because look at, right. Because we know you miss 17 jobs because you like comfort. It's fine.
That is the truth. I know.
It's okay. You know, me and Cassie go back at least a decade at this point.
We do. We have a lot of work together. Yes, absolutely.
This is our other job, whether people realize or not. This is actually a job for us. But we love it. That's why we do it so much.
It's worth it.
This is our
fun.
thing. But we love you, so I'm going to kick you out now.
Right. Thank you, Mama. Love you. Bye.
I know. That's awesome. Yay for representing for the Michigan moms.
That's right.
For the Detroit, for the
Post-Menopause Comedy Tour. I love it. Yes.
Post-menopause and laughing, something like that.
So
Post-menopause
amazing.
and Grammys.
Yes.
Gary.
Grammys with Grammys.
Right. So let's hit some questions. But before we do, just want to say thank you guys for always hanging with your girls, because we love it. This is our social time in real life. But we love that you like listening to us. And again, if you do want to be on the show, we are booking now for June. So hit us up, thezodiacchatline@gmail.com, and we will gladly get you on the show. We will also see you on Thursday for our next Q&A live. So come in and chat with us. But we're going to get into some audience questions before we hit this tarot card.
That's right. So first question from email. What does it mean for me to have my North Node on the Taurus Gemini cusp?
Ooh. Well, since we talked about cusps last week, or Thursday rather, that is the cusp energy. And, I think we both talked about having to temper that like quick, go mercurial energy with the very steady and kind of like grounded. I don't want to say stuck, but very like energy of Taurus.
Yeah.
And so so that means their opposite cusp would be Scorpio,
the Sag Scorpio.
Cusp. The cusp of revolution. That's an interesting balance of nodes.
I would be. Yeah. Go ahead.
No. I think you got it.
I was going to say, I would be very curious to see for this person, like where their node actually landed, right? And like how close it is to the cusp, because I think it's kind of hard to interpret a North Node as a cusp because kind of are thinking about really going from one energy to another, and instead of going from two energies to two more, you know what I mean? Although I would guess for this person that their life is really defined by the need to stay and go, because both of those cusps are on a fixed and then a mutable. And you're talking, your mutables there are Sagittarius and Gemini, who are not trying to stay in one place, either one of them. And then your fixed are Scorpio and Taurus,
and talk about like
trying to go
right. I was going to say
nowhere
adamantly staying where they stand
at all.
And together, it's all of the elements that they've hit.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of that's learning to balance. That would probably be like a lifelong of having experiences that teach you how to use that Taurus Gemini energy better.
Yeah, for sure. So. And yeah, I would say, you know, time spent getting away from there's some like kind of control issues, I think, that come with that, like Scorpio Sag cusp, that you really kind of have to let go of, and embracing like the idea of you can do what you can do. You know what I mean? Like,
and kind of like revolution of being like contradictory for the sake of being contradictory, instead of, you know, like, I think it's more like learning how to be a revolution and learning to temper the energy where it's supposed to go, not just to have it be all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right,
that's tricky, girl. That's tricky.
It looks like it's Shoshani is in the chat, and she is a Leo, as we know. And she says, been feeling like I can't focus and accomplish what's important. Any reason why?
I'm blaming Pisces.
I was going to say the same thing.
Like, we have so many planets in Pisces right now. And I think although Leos and Pisces can get like that energy can get along well, for Leos, that is when there's too much of that mutable, all over the place kind of wishy-washy energy, they're like, okay, but what are we doing? Like, but what are we doing for real? And you have the sun and then Neptune, especially, which rules Pisces and also rules all of our daydreams and fantasy worlds. Both of those in Pisces, it just means it's a lot to bring your brain down to earth right now. And the other aspects, or the other planets, the other aspect of this question that I'm going to blame is Aquarius, because then you've got Aquarius over here also thinking about 10 different things, and that's where all of, you know, Venus and Mars and Saturn are all there. So there's no earth, no groundedness, nothing to be ground, and no fire.
And I'm going to share with you that Shawnee, I'm going to say this, she'll be fine, that she has a Scorpio moon and her sun is in the 12th house. So even more so with the 12th house being ruled by Pisces and having all of the water energy in the moon, like everything is really foggy right now. And so I feel like everything that the best advice is for you to figure out a way to get grounded and truly get grounded, because your fire is kind of all over the place. In opposition to all of the Aquarius energy, and then all the really murky Pisces thing. It's almost like everything you thought was real is a fucking lie. And
or feels like it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not, but I would say for Shawnee, hello, also, nice to meet you. But highly encourage you to work with this coming Virgo full moon to try and get yourself grounded, and whatever, if there's any bits of emotional or thought pattern that you can identify that are making it particularly difficult to concentrate, like whether it's maybe one person who's just like putting too much on you, or like one train of thought or something you can't let go of, like try and come up with a ritual around releasing that energy. And, you know, I did something for the new moon that I think works well with the full moon also, which is like I wrote down things that I was afraid of and I burned them and I like watched them until they were ashes, and doing a ritual like that, something to release some of that energy. And I bet you that a week from now, you're going to be feeling a lot better. Get a little bit more once we hit Aries season, that fiery energy is going to crank you up and activate that Leo energy and it's going to make you feel more like yourself, would be my guess.
I think this is just more of a cleansing time. It's Pisces season. So like it's the leftover residue of things that we weren't dealing with. And so I think emotionally, it's just kind of, you know, don't hold on to anything that you think is true, or just kind of let it be and feel and know, just like emotions, nothing's permanent. It's just as temporary, just like the fish. They go in opposite direction. Your feelings can go that way. But I agree with Cassie. I think grounding, like severe grounding, like literally putting your hands in dirt, you get your nails done, girl, I know, but putting your feet
on the ground,
you know what I mean? Taking a cleansing bath, I think would be really good, especially with a Pisces energy, and really like cleansing and detoxing any emotions that you may have attached that aren't yours. Because I think that could have also been a big thing, is that you might have other emotions that don't belong to you are now weighing you down. What's so funny?
Also, on that note, for everybody in the chat, and I was going to bring it up to my mom specifically, but one thing I read about that I think is really good for all of us to do, but especially during Pisces season, and especially folks who feel who run emotional, I'll say that, is reclaiming your energy. Say out loud, I reclaim the energy I gave, no matter what purpose it was given with. You know, thank you to the universe for allowing me to be here. I'm taking my energy back. Like,
I'm sending back anybody's energy who's attached to me that no longer needs to be there. Say that, and I agree. Say that out loud. Everyone, when you come home sometimes if you come home from work, when you're out, there is so much going on, and everybody's kind of heightened just in the situation that we're in. And so being able to just like get your energy back, it's yours, it's important, it's vital for you to be able to hold on to.
And when I first read about that, part of me was a little like, I felt some type of way, because I was like, well, what if those people need my energy? And then I remembered, like, they don't. They have their own energy. You know, I need my energy.
Girl, right. First of all, okay, you're a mom with 2 kids. You definitely need your energy.
Shit. And it's okay to like make that exchange in the moment if you know you get back what you need to have back.
Exactly.
Also, I agree with Jason at Belvis in the chat. The 4 Agreements.
Oh my God, amazing.
Is an excellent book. And maybe we'll do a Zodiac fucking book club, and that could be one, because that is an excellent read.
That's amazing. So we're gonna kick it over to the tarot.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pull a card.
So we're gonna pull from a newer deck. You guys, I don't think you guys seen this deck, but this is the Sacred Spirit Reading Cards by Anna Stark. It says spiritual guidance for your life journey. I showed Coral and Cassie some of these cards earlier. They are gorgeous.
Beautiful.
But this one goes into a lot of sacred spiritual energy, does talk about releasing. Some of them talk about, you know, being between 2 worlds, just all of the different things that the next levels come. But again, guys, thank you. Please go subscribe to that YouTube channel. We are almost at our next goal, so we would love for you to tell all your friends, all your coworkers, even if they never watch it. We just need them to subscribe, you know?
Literally just click the button, please.
Ooh, and look, girl, it literally never freaking fails. We have meditation number 27. Improvements require persistence. I would like to say number 27 does break down to 9. We don't talk a lot about numerology, but I'm going to talk about it here. And 9 in the tarot, the major arcana, is the Hermit. And the Hermit does seek the star, but seeks internal guidance through withdrawing and really trying to figure some shit out. But it's a nice energy to be in, because it's the most it's a good humbling energy. I feel like you go into the hermit mode when you're like, I can't take on the rest of this shit. So I'm going to read some blurbs from this for you guys. We'll see what I can say. And
oh my gosh, what a cool card too.
And I mean, just look at, there's just so much in here. You can see all the different energies outside of that person and all of that. Meditation is an important aspect of spiritual practice. Proven to relieve mental stress, physical pain, and improve a person's outlook on life, meditation is not bound to religion, culture, or spiritual groups. Anyone can practice meditation and everyone can receive its benefits. Right now, meditation holds the answer. Focus on your breath, reconnect back to self, where you will have more time and energy for the areas in your life that have been neglected. A form of meditation is required now for you to feel whole once again. Be aware that your mind reflects your physical world. Is it balanced or imbalanced, busy or still, chaotic or calm, noisy or quiet? Physiological and psychological change is taking place. Use meditation to assist in healing, health, and well-being goals, specifically to set intentions, aid in physical recovery, and influence mind mantras. Importantly, now is the time to focus on your personal health and well-being. The shadow aspect of this can be chaotic, dismissive, and emotional detachment. The sacred crystal attached to this is fluorite. The angel assistant is, oh my God, this is cute. Call on Archangel Cassiel, serenity, solitude, and temperance. And the affirmation is, my mind creates a reflection of my physical world. I am at peace. Guys, I think this is a perfect card segue for when we go into our Virgo full moon this Friday. So meditation, ground, really kind of call your energy back. Again, this is the last kind of portion of Pisces energy. And then we're going to go to Aries, and you guys know that shit's going to get fired up.
Yeah.
So take the time to enjoy the stillness. You know, it's okay to kind of be daydream and be cloudy for right now. But come the full moon, you will find ways to kind of find clarity, I think, within that.
Yeah, I think that if you, I agree. I think it's really necessary to try and be as quiet and in tune with yourself as possible right now, because if you don't, the Virgo full moon will overwhelm you with anxious thoughts.
Oh my God.
Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and unlike its other Mercury ruled pal, Gemini, Virgo is over analytical and over critical.
Yeah.
And that energy can be channeled very well and very positively. But if you're not in a good spot, it will
remind you quickly.
Yeah. Right. And so
be
kind to yourself and center yourself as much as you can.
And it's good to refocus on those health goals that you may have set for the Virgo new moon. And I think that and maybe the Pisces energy is showing you where your health is not the best. And so I would stay in tune to that. Well, guys, this has been amazing.
Yes.
Again, happy 313 day to all my Detroit players out there. What up, though?
Thanks again to Mama Michelle.
We love you, girl. Happy belated. As always, we are sending you birthday love for the whole year because you're at a Saturn return. Guys, Cassie, I never want to do this without you, and I never will. Coral,
I love you so much.
We love you all the time for being in the chat and keeping it real with us. Guys, it's all love and peace.